Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, from quitting to crossing, why Edmonton MP Matt Jeneroux is joining the federal Liberals after all. Made in Edmonton, the city joins a new alliance to potentially supply the Canadian Armed Forces. And social media safeguards, a group of Alberta students visiting Parliament Hill calling for more protection online.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Edmonton Riverbend MP Matt Jeneroux has become the third Conservative since the last federal election to cross the floor and join the Liberals. In November, he said he intended to step down, but never officially did. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti joins us now with more on this story. So, Miriam, what was Jeneroux's reason for staying in politics and joining the Liberals?
Well, Matt Jeneroux says after reflecting with his family and constituents, he wanted to continue serving in Parliament. He says he decided to work with Carney to, quote, help build our country's strength as we face the challenges ahead.
It's a great honor to be on the same team as you at a crucial time.
Matt Jeneroux and Prime Minister Mark Carney sat side by side in Edmonton today, speaking as colleagues instead of adversaries. Jeneroux says he knew he wanted to work with Carney after the PM's speech in Davos.
I think for me, that's where a lot of the world changed. I think it opened a lot of eyes for Canadians, Albertans, Edmontonians, just how serious this national meeting crisis truly is.
During the federal election last spring, Jeneroux won his riding for the Conservatives by more than 3,000 votes. In November, there were rumors Jeneroux would cross the floor. Instead, he announced he would resign as an MP. We asked people in Edmonton Riverbend about Jeneroux's move.
Well, I voted Liberal in the last election, and obviously Mr. Jeneroux was elected here. And so I'm just pleased that he crossed the floor and we're that much closer to a majority government.
The man's a coward. He's a liar.
Do you feel betrayed?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, people here did not vote for a Liberal government, and that's who he's supporting.
Jeneroux is the third Conservative to cross the floor in as many months. This MacEwan University political science professor says under Carney, the Liberal Party has become more centrist, making the move less surprising.
This becomes much more of a thing that they can do in terms of switching parties and still feel like they're representing their constituents, they're able to achieve and focus on the issues that they want to.
The recent efforts to bring Alberta and Ottawa closer together, Boyd says adding an extra Albertan voice will help.
I think that makes a big deal for the Liberal Party and the federal government here in Alberta.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is accusing Jeneroux of betraying his constituents. He says Carney is trying to seize a Liberal majority through dirty backroom deals. Matt?
CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti live in studio tonight. Thank you. Now that the federal government has outlined its Made in Canada defense strategy, Alberta is hoping to get involved. The Edmonton Region Defense Alliance launched today, made up of people from government, industry, and education. CTV's Amanda Anderson explains.
And we need to be ready to respond within a very short amount of time.
Edmonton's mayor believes the capital region is in a very good position to help the federal government realize its defense industrial strategy aimed at reducing Canada's reliance on foreign suppliers to supply the Canadian Armed Forces.
Edmonton is a leader in innovation, AI, research, advanced manufacturing, and life sciences.
Right now, Canada needs to do its part, and all of us need to do our part for Canada to improve our defense ecosystem, to support the Canadian Armed Forces, and really realize what Mark Carney's asking us to do, which is to step up and do our part.
In anticipation of the strategy, the Edmonton Region Defense Alliance was formed to be ready to respond.
The spotlight really is now on Edmonton and our natural assets and all of the work that we've already been doing to accelerate that spending and make sure that Edmonton companies, industry, has a piece of that pie.
Innovation takes place across the spectrum. It's not just about the fancy technologies that we see. It's also about small things that make soldiers' lives better. Things like new solvents so it's easier to clean a tank. It's about how we as a region can support the Canadian Armed Forces.
As the northernmost major city, the Alliance believes Edmonton is suited to be a logistics hub for Canada's Arctic. The Edmonton International Airport is finalizing plans to become a main operating base in the west, extending CFB Edmonton, CFB Wainwright, and Four Wing Cold Lakes defense operations.
So we're very much focused at our airports on increasing the amount of defense supply chain activities that are happening there, including in training and including in logistics.
As the Alliance takes off,
some of this funding could start flowing within the next few months.
The mayor hopes to dedicate city staff to support the process. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Police are looking for witnesses or video footage from an area in southeast Edmonton following a shooting last week. Officers were called to Watt Common Southwest and 50th Street Southwest just after 6 p.m. Friday. They found a 32-year-old man with gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital. Police believe he will survive. Anyone with dash cam or security footage from that area taken between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. last Friday is asked to contact police. Alberta's police watchdog has cleared officers in 2 separate deadly shootings from 2 years ago. The first shooting happened in Leduc in June of 2024. ACERT says a man told police he had a gun, admitted to ramming several police vehicles at the Leduc detachment, and declared he wanted police to shoot him. He eventually pointed an apparent handgun at a tactical vehicle. 2 officers inside shot him. The man died there. The gun turned out to be a pellet gun, but ACERT says there's no reasonable way to determine that, and the officers' actions were deemed justified. The second shooting involved EPS officers on 82nd Avenue in July of 2024. ACERT says officers responding to a 911 call found a man pointing a gun at a bus. When they confronted him, he ran towards them while pointing the gun at them. Officers shot the man, who died 2 days later in hospital. It was later determined the man had a non-functioning air pistol. ACERT says the officer's use of force was proportionate, necessary, and reasonable. A truck driver from Stony Plain is dead after he stopped to check on another driver. This happened north of Athabasca on Highway 813. Mounties say the 57-year-old pulled his transport truck onto the shoulder to see if a driver in the ditch was okay. Police say he was brushing snow off the back of his trailer when a pickup truck hit him. He died on the way to hospital. The pickup driver was not hurt. RCMP believe weather and road conditions were factors in the crash. Edmonton's Phase 1 parking ban is in effect as crews work 24/7 to clear main streets. 120 city-operated plows and trucks are clearing city streets. The city says private contractors operating about 100 graders also started working right away. Unlike in December during this winter's first major snowfall. Under the Phase 1 parking ban, vehicles on major roadways, bus routes, and streets with seasonal no parking signs must be moved. The city says it will decide later this week if a Phase 2 parking ban for residential roads is needed.
We will be evaluating snowpack, safety conditions, and rutting in residential roadways on Friday, and we'll have an update at that time for our plan to either go in and groom the residential roadways or the potential for an additional Phase 2 ban.
The city says most drivers comply with a Phase 1 parking ban, and typically it's during the residential parking ban when most of the tickets are handed out. To avoid being fined, you can sign up for a parking ban notification on the city's website. All right, Corey, the good news is most of the snow has fallen. The bad news is those freezing cold temperatures are going to last a whole lot longer.
That's right. The cold sticking around, Matt, and now we have to deal with shoveling it and getting rid of it. We did see a decent amount of snow. Let's take a look at some of the amounts. Here in the city, Monday through yesterday, about 15 to 28 centimeters of snow. St. Albert, 21 centimeters. Fort Saskatchewan saw upwards of 30 centimeters. Calgary also saw a lot of snow, about 23 centimeters there. And Cold Lake, 44 centimeters. So we saw a lot of snow throughout much of the province, a little bit heavier in central and northern areas, especially to the northeast of us. Right now, it is cold, minus 24. We will be dealing with this cold for a little while now, but it feels even colder. The wind's light, but still making it feel colder. At this temperature, it doesn't take much of a wind to really make it feel colder. Minus 32 is our wind chill value right now. As we see, still central northern areas under a cold warning. Wind chill values near minus 40 or below, especially as we head into the overnight period. North of Grand Prairie, Edson included in this, as areas as far south as Big Valley, Red Deer as well, and us here in Edmonton and the surrounding areas. This will probably be in place for a couple of days. As we take a look at our temperature overnight, we're dipping down to -28. Tomorrow morning, it'll feel like -36. As we go throughout tomorrow, a little bit warmer. -17 for a high, winds fairly light, it'll feel like -23. We'll see a lot of sun with a little bit more cloud building as we go throughout the evening. For Friday, -24 to start, -15 for a high, mainly sunny, and then Saturday, a little bit more cloud, -15 once again. Next time we chat, I'll take a look at your 10-day forecast.
All right, Corey, thank you. Local hockey fans were up early to cheer on the Canadian men's hockey team, who secured a win to advance to the medal rounds at the Winter Olympics.
If I could do this every morning, I would.
Fans were thrilled. Some bars opened early to show Canada versus Czechia this morning. The game was a nail-biter. Canada, down 1, scored late in the third period, forcing the game into overtime, where Mitch Marner came up clutch. One negative, though, Sidney Crosby was hurt and left the game. The general manager of First Round Downtown says they're thrilled to be able to offer extended hours during exciting games like this.
The response has been great. Like, they just appreciate that someone's willing to open up this early just to let them watch hockey and, watch best on best. So it's great.
Any bar interested in offering extended liquor service hours must provide 3 days' notice to the AGLC. The Canadian men's hockey team plays again Friday against Finland at 8:40 in the morning during the semifinals. Paul Coffey will soon be back behind the Oilers bench. The team says he will be rejoining the Oilers coaching staff. Coffey was in charge of the Oilers defense from November of 2023 through the 24-25 season. During that span, the Oilers allowed less than 3 goals a game, which was 5th best mark in the league at the time. Coffey is expected to join the club Friday. The Oilers are back in action next Wednesday. Coming up next on CTV News, a Wedgewood issue. Dozens of neighbors pushing the city to cancel its plans to convert a park into affordable housing.
Sometimes doing the right thing means not doing the wrong thing. So please do the right thing today.
The CTV drone powered by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A new affordable housing development is going ahead in South Edmonton, despite neighbors going to great lengths to stop it. One took the issue to court, arguing the city did not properly consult. A court ruled in their favor, but as CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports, it didn't change the end result.
For nearly 40 years, people in Wedgewood have been using this space as a park. Now, more than a dozen neighbors are pleading with council to keep it that way, rather than selling it to Treaty 8 First Nations to build townhomes with half of the 60 units subsidized.
You are giving away a well-used, beautiful community park for free. This development will destroy it forever.
Sometimes doing the right thing means not doing the wrong thing. So please do the right thing today.
The northeast corner of Wedgewood Heights Park was deemed surplus by the school boards in 2009. The city had it earmarked for housing ever since. Council has already been through a public hearing like this, but that 2024 meeting dealt with 11 surplus school sites at once. Leah Wadnowski felt that process was unfair and took it to a judicial review. In her ruling, the King's Bench Justice said the mandatory public hearing on the motion was not held, rendering the sale approval procedurally unfair.
It's not that we didn't hear from the public, it's that we didn't hear from the public in the way the courts felt that we should.
The court ruled, bring it back. So we are here today at a full public hearing.
Wadnowski has dedicated countless hours to saving Wedgewood Park, including preparing presentations for more than a dozen of her neighbors. They argue the city's procedural misstep, combined with the park's value for the neighborhood and beyond, should be reason enough to leave it as is. The Grand Chief of Treaty 8 says subsidized housing is vital.
Without adequate housing, that price is going to keep going up, which leaves our most vulnerable people at risk. So, we're just looking for solutions. We're looking to be a part of the solution.
It should never be parkland versus housing. Those two things are both incredibly important.
In the end, housing won. Council voted to sell the land to Treaty 8 for $1, citing the city's need for affordable housing and reconciliation. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A group of students from Alberta are on Parliament Hill today to push for more protections online for future generations. CTV's Connor Hogg joins us live now with more on this story tonight. So, Connor, what concerns did these students raise directly on Parliament Hill today?
Matt, they're in Ottawa to release what they call a Youth Digital Rights Blueprint. The 12 students traveled from Edmonton, Calgary, St. Albert, and Grand Prairie, alongside reps from the John Humphrey Centre for Peace and Human Rights. They want the federal government to work on online policies that would protect the next generations from exploitation, discrimination, and violence, while also including their perspectives. The students say negative experiences online that happen at a young age can have long-term effects on mental health.
My light kind of dimmed, you could say, like the spark that you have as a child where you're happy and you want to do all these things and you have these dreams, these kind of cruel areas can really diminish people's light.
We're ready to work. The question is whether the government is ready to meet us with the same courage, humility, and urgency.
The students are calling for a National Safety Advisory Council for Kids Online, as well as improved reporting systems. France and Australia have recently brought in social media bans for young people, and Ottawa has promised that a new online harms bill is coming soon. These students want to see buffers in place rather than outright bans. Matt.
All right, CTV's Connor Hogg live in studio tonight. Thank you. Still to come tonight on CTV News, wildfire workload, how the province is preparing for the upcoming season.
We look at, being ready for when the snow is getting off the ground.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The province has started preparing for this year's wildfire season, inviting media to tour the province's coordination center. Alberta Wildfire says hiring for this season is already underway and is a big part of the winter workload.
We look at, being ready for when the snow is getting off the ground. So we look at, okay, when are the tanker bases going to be open? When are the crews going to be not just on, but trained and ready to fight fire?
Alberta Wildfire says some firefighters have remained on staff through the winter. Many of them are currently helping with fires in Australia. The province's official start to the wildfire season is less than 2 weeks away. Maybe it's just me, Corey, but it's hard to imagine wildfire season being less than 2 weeks away when it's been minus 25 out there for the last day or two.
Yeah, we probably, it's so cold out there. What a shock to the system. We knew it was coming, but once you step outside into it, feels so different. Looks beautiful outside, though, as we take a live look through the Action Furnace River Valley Sky Camp. Action Furnace fixed right, or it's free. We are sitting at minus 24. Lots of sun as we end off this afternoon and head into the supper hour. It's just really cold outside, and it feels even colder. Wind, not that strong, but strong enough to make it feel a lot colder. Our wind chill here in the city, minus 32. Stony Plain, minus 25, feels like minus 34. Minus 26 Namao, feels like minus 37, very similar at the airport as well. As we take a look at the province, Cold Lake, minus 23, feeling like minus 31. Lloydminster, the wind chill value, as well as in Coronation, minus 39, minus 41 in Fort McMurray. So some dangerously low temperatures and wind chill values. Make sure you're dressed for these conditions. It's going to feel even colder as we go throughout the overnight period. Much of central northern areas are under an extreme cold warning. We've seen a lot of clearing, so we've had a lot of sun, but it's cold, clear Arctic air that is hanging over much of the province right now. So fairly clear in our area and to the east and west. As we go throughout the evening, we will be seeing mostly clear sky, mostly clear overnight, and our temperature is going to dip down. And then as we go throughout tomorrow, we've got a lot of sun as we go throughout the day, just a little bit of scattered cloud, and we'll be a little bit warmer for tomorrow. As we head into Friday, we'll start to see a little bit more cloud, and that will continue to be the case as we head into late Friday and Saturday. Temperature overnight tonight, for us, we could dip down around minus 31 in outlying areas. Slave Lake, minus 34, Fort McMurray, minus 36. Cold in the south as well, Calgary, minus 27. For tomorrow, temperatures a little bit warmer than today, but still on the cold side. Lac La Biche, minus 19, Whitecourt, minus 16. We'll see a nice mix of sun and cloud. Red Deer, a high of minus 19, and Calgary, minus 16. Let's take a look at our forecast for us here in Edmonton. So we go throughout the evening, about minus 25. Wind light, but making it feel colder, still feeling like minus 32. Minus 28. And to the outlying areas, even colder tomorrow morning. Could feel as low as -36 with the wind chill value. -17, mainly sunny for tomorrow. Still feeling colder. Once you factor in the wind, it'll feel like -23. -15 for Friday as well as Saturday. Sunday -16, and we see that temperature again on Monday with a slight chance of flurries. So the next 5 days on the cold side, average seasonal high is -3. As we go throughout next week, we start to approach that high and then go above it towards the end of the 10-day forecast. I will have details on that in the 6 o'clock newscast. But again, for tonight, -28 overnight, colder in outlying areas, and then -17 for a high for tomorrow. Matt.
All right, Corey, thank you. Hundreds of schools across Alberta will soon have teams to help address complexities in the classroom. Not all divisions, though, are getting the same support. The province is spending $143 million on complexity teams for nearly 480 schools. The teams are made up of 2 educational assistants and a teacher. Edmonton Public Schools will get 101 teams, while Edmonton Catholic will get 42. To decide where the resources should go, the province looked at 9 complexities, such as learning disabilities and English as an additional language.
There's 655 classrooms that they identified, but they're only providing funding for 476 teams. If they identified 655, then we should have 655 complexity teams going into schools.
The Alberta Teachers Association hopes next week's provincial budget continues to address these issues. The Education Minister promises more supports will be rolled out soon. When we return, why firefighters are holding a rooftop campout in the middle of this cold snap.
CTV News at 5 continues.
Programming brought to you by Leading Ladies of Broadway with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
The temperature has dropped just in time for the annual Firefighters rooftop campout for muscular dystrophy. Edmonton firefighters are staked out on the roof of Fire Hall 2 trying to raise $71,000. Muscular dystrophy causes progressive muscle weakness and degeneration. Firefighters say this is just a small way they can help.
If it's one thing that we recognize is we're very grateful for our physical ability, especially with our jobs being very physically demanding, and realizing that not everybody has that luxury. So if we can come up here and raise money, and just being aware that physical activity and movement is important for everybody, and if we can help out with that cause, we're more than able to.
The crew is camping out until the 20th, making it harder. The firefighters are starting out with no equipment. As they raise more money, though, they earn more gear, which will make the camping experience a little bit more comfortable. That's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.